Well, just when we were getting excited about Darrell Henderson, another trade for the Rams. They like to make trades. They bring over Sony Michel for what will eventually be a 4th-round pick. I'm Adam Azer with Heath Cummings on this bonus podcast here on Fantasy Football Today. Heath, is this a big deal?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it probably is. Darrell Henderson was being drafted not quite as a feature back for the Rams, but the difference between Xavier Jones, Jake Funk, and Sony Michel is pretty big. We were discounting Damian Harris just a little bit because we were afraid Sony Michel was going to steal some touches from him. Now we have to discount Darrell Henderson from where we had him.
I look at this stretch before Cam Akers got involved last year, and this is weeks 2 through 7. And Darrell Henderson was on, he had 84 carries. Malcolm Brown had 47 carries. And Cam Akers had 12 carries in those games. Cam Akers, almost all of them were in one game. The 3 running backs combined for 23.8 carries per game. Darrell Henderson had 58.7% of the carries. So his 16-game pace in weeks 2 through 7 when he really got the work. And then the week after that, week 8 was the Dolphins game. I think he got hurt in that game. They had a bye the next week. He still played, but that they slowly started giving it to Cam Akers at that point. But just weeks 2 through 7, he was on pace for 224 carries, 1,080 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 24 catches and actually 3 receiving touchdowns. So do you think that's a realistic split where he could be on a 224 carry pace? I have to do the math here. But then Malcolm Brown, what did I say? Malcolm Brown had 47 carries in 6 games. So that's about 8 carries per game. That could be the Sony Michel role.
Yeah, I think that split is probably a fair expectation. I'm a little bit lower than that on Henderson on my initial projections. When I first put it together, I had him at 214 carries and 27 receptions. But I think there's some question, and we've talked about this a lot, that does the addition of Matthew Stafford mean the Rams are going to be more pass heavy? Does the injury to Cam Akers mean that the Rams are going to be more pass heavy? I think another thing that worries me about this is kind of the timing of it. The first thing Sean McVay said after Cam Akers got hurt was that we believe Darrell Henderson can be a 3-down back. But then obviously stated they had some concerns whether he could stay healthy. Darrell Henderson hurts his thumb in practice, and the day later they trade for Sony Michel. So it doesn't sound like the thumb injury is really going to put Henderson much in question for week 1. It does seem like the Rams have serious questions about whether Henderson can be a feature back. And so I'm going to struggle with where to rank him, but right now I can say pretty certainly he's not going to be in my top 23 running backs.
So he was somebody that I think in a 12-team league, maybe people had settled in on. Yeah, round 4 is probably the time for Darrell Henderson. Chris Carson comes off the board, and then you've got this mix-up of running backs with Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders. And for a lot of people, I think Henderson would have been at the front of that group, and then you could yeah, right. And you like Josh Jacobs, but then you could have argued, well, what about Myles Gaskin? What about James Robinson now? So now, are you saying that he'll be behind Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs?
I'm saying he'll be at the back of that group. The Gaskin, Davis, Jacobs, Sanders, that entire group, he went from the front of the line to the back of the line. And it's a short line, and it's a very compact line. There's no social distancing in this line. They are bunched up together. But yes, he went from the front of the line to the back of the line. I still think there's top 12 upside for virtually everyone in that group. I still think it's possible that things could go right for Henderson, and he could be a 16 touch a game guy for an entire season.
If you're hearing some noise in the background,
I'm not hearing any noise.
Okay, good. I'm babysitting my own kid, but watching over my boy right now and giving him some Sesame Street to watch on the phone. Sorry about that, folks. So, yeah, does Henderson have an advantage over those running backs that it's not like they brought in a guy who's going to catch passes on 3rd down? I don't know if somebody else on the roster is supposed to be their 3rd down back. The Rams never play their starters in the preseason, but Sanders, it's not trending great in that regard. Jacobs, up in the, I don't know, probably not. Does Henderson look like he'll kind of lead that group in catches?
No, I don't think so at all. I think if I was going to guess who was going to lead the group in catches, it would be Myles Gaskin.
Yeah. Sorry, I was basically doing a group of 3. of Sanders, Jacobs, and Henderson. I figure at this point Gaskin's going to go ahead of Henderson.
I think it's possible that Henderson could lead the group in catches. The thing is about the Rams, and that's really kind of changed lately. I don't know how much we expect the Rams to throw to their running backs. They had 71 running back targets last year. Only the Ravens and the Titans threw fewer passes to their running backs.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm sorry. And to back up your point, I gave you that stretch of games, those 6 games, week 2 through 7. You look at Jared Goff's pass attempts in those games. It's a lot of low 30s. So we'll hopefully see more we'll probably see more throwing from Stafford and maybe fewer carries from Henderson. So it is a bit of a mess. This stinks. On the other hand, maybe people don't take Sony Michel seriously. Maybe they view this as like, well, the Rams weren't confident in Xavier Jones and Jake Funk and whatever else they had back there, and they wanted an upgrade for a little more assurance. Maybe Darrell Henderson really does get closer to a feature role, and Michel's just kind of depth. That would be the counter.
Yeah, I just don't know. We're just going to talk about this group over and over and over. But Myles Gaskin, Josh Jacobs, there's some other guys that are in the group for me that no one else has in the group, so I won't say their names. Miles Sanders and Mike Davis, all of those guys could actually end up being feature backs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I'm more worried about Henderson. I think of those guys, Henderson has the best competition now.
Chase Edmonds or Darrell Henderson?
That is the one. In the initial projections, Henderson came up right behind Chase Edmonds. I'm currently ranking Henderson ahead of Chase Edmonds because I think there's a better chance that Henderson's a feature back than Edmonds.
Now, Sony Michel, do you draft him? And keeping in mind that Darrell Henderson is pretty injury prone at this point.
Oh, you definitely draft him. I put him almost exactly where I had Xavier Jones, and we were drafting Xavier Jones. Unfortunately, I drafted him too many times in the last 3 rounds over the last couple of weeks. But I think you put Sony Michel in that same range, maybe right behind the Tony Pollard, Alexander Madison type guys, but he's in that range for sure.
And let's go over to the Patriots now. Does this help Damian Harris?
I'm really not sure. I think it probably gives him a little bit more security, but I had him. I didn't have a lot of touches going to Sony Michel. I had him at 94 carries and 4 catches for the season. I kind of think someone's going to play that role, probably RHAMONDRE Stevenson now.
Yes. I mean, this has been a really good preseason for him. And Schrager giving me these notes, 140 rushing yards after contact and 12 forced missed tackles for RHAMONDRE Stevenson. So he has played a lot of backups, but he's done very well. And yeah, I guess, does he get? Would you rather have RHAMONDRE Stevenson or Sony Michel if you're taking a running back late?
I'm going to take Sony Michel over RHAMONDRE Stevenson right now. I think there's a better chance if something. Well, first off, it seems like there's a better chance of something happening to Darrell Henderson than Damian Harris. Second off, I think that role's probably more valuable than the one Damian Harris has. And third, I'm more confident that the Rams RB1 role is more valuable than the Patriots RB1 role.
Oh, okay.
And then third, I think Stevenson would have to share more if he got thrust into that role than Michel would.
You're still taking Darrell Henderson ahead of Damian Harris, right?
That I am. It's close. Like in non-PPR, I've got Edmonds and Harris and Henderson all right in the same range.
Okay. Oh man. You know what? You know who the winner is here, Heath? Mike Davis, another potential running back to take his job, going somewhere else, or to compete for his job, rather.
Mike Davis and Myles Gaskin, really, because I mean, they were apparently trying to get Kerryon Johnson the first time Kerryon Johnson went on waivers. So, yeah, it's those guys are winners, but this is also a reminder for those guys that we got a couple weeks left.
Yes, we do.
They're not safe yet.
We've probably got a couple more bonus podcasts left as well. Thank you very much to Heath Cummings and to all of you for listening and watching. And we've got another episode that will drop tomorrow where we might have some more developments, some more reports. So we'll keep you updated here on Fantasy Football Today.